starting Be'ezras Hashem Siman Pei Ches in Vayol Moshe. And starting from Siman Pei Zayin, Rebbe was talking about the reasons not to be mishtatef in the Israeli government. So, in Siman Pei Zayin, he gave two reasons already. One was about what he's been talking about in the Sefer till now, the Shalosh Shvuos and the Inyan of Kvir and Gzeres Agalus and the Chikas HaKetz. And the other one was that when you're one of the people, you're one of the 120, so if they don't have 120 people, they can't pass any laws, and therefore you're helping them pass the laws. Okay, now he's going to say two more reasons. Siman Peches. Ulefi ma shenasan Maharal Zal din mishumad. The Maharal said that being over on the Shalosh Shvuos is Yehar Gval Yavor, and it's like Shmad. If someone forces you to go to Israel and make a Medina, you have to say no, even to the point of Shmad. So after shoisin zeh al yidei kfir shal misa, and the Maharal says you're not allowed to listen to them even if they're forcing you at gunpoint. So devadai unsa commandalei avin. So for sure, if you do something at gunpoint, it's like you didn't do it. It's not like your action. You're just being forced into it. V'lo yaseh v'lo klum. It's not like you did anything. So shetzarech loimer atam. So what's taka the reason why it's aser then? If it's not like you did anything. So the answer is shemechuyev limsor nafsho yavur zeh. Because it's like avodah zarah. You have to give your life not to show anything that people could misinterpret. The people shouldn't have any havamina in their hearts to think that you're being moida in your heart to the kfir. So, just like avodah zarah, why can't you bow doing avodah zarah just to show, just to get out of being killed? Even though you don't believe in it, you're not actually doing avodah zarah. But so people shouldn't think that you're doing avodah zarah. Is also Yehar Gval Yavor.
But he's still not chayiv misas bezin because you were still forced. He's not chayiv misas bezin.
Right. That's true.
It's not the same severe as doing it willingly without.
Yeah, it's honest, but it's still Yehar Gval Yavor.
Yeah, of course.
The question is why. So he's explaining the reason why is because it doesn't. You can't do something that looks bad, even if it's not actually bad.
Yeah.
So Kamasha Kost of a Rambam atam. The Rambam says this also b'mitzvah sasei v'nikdashti, the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. So that's if someone would be forced into making a Medina. But let's say someone participates on his own without any forcing, so that's for sure a problem. He's doing an action. It's his own strategy to achieve whatever goal he's trying to achieve, even though the goal might be some Zaitik goal. Maybe he's just trying to get in there so that they can get money for their yeshivas, or in order to prevent them from making a gzeira. It's some kind of a strategy he has. But the point is that he's doing a beratzen. It's not oinus anymore. It's not gunpoint. So it looks to, and you have this same svar that it looks to other people like you're being moida in the clear. It certainly shows that you're agreeing l'maisa kvira, Rahman al-Islam. It certainly shows it more strongly than if someone does it when he's forced to. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, v'oid, now we get to the second reason of this simon, the fourth reason so far out of the two simonim. Shaharei kol chaver ha-knesses terem she'yikanis ba. Any member of the Knesset, before he joins the Knesset, he has to go and make an oath. He's going to say now, loyalty oath.
What's a real
oath of office. What?
So what's a law in Israel?
The law, yeah.
Well, even Americans don't have that. They don't require making any oath before you go into office.
They don't? They do.
Like sign that you agree, but they don't make you swear.
They swear them in, don't they? They swear in the president with a...
Really?
They lift up their right hand and they say, yeah, I think so.
I know that for sure you have to sign something. I don't think they say, I swear. You don't have to sign something though. So like, you agree that you won't do that since you have new responsibility.
Anyway, so tzarich she'yishava, any member of Knesset has to swear koidem before he becomes a member al kiyum hamalucha v'chukeha, that he agrees to the existence of the state and its laws.
And swearing is bad as we all know. Even it's bad even well, but kol is bad with the Zionist government.
Take a look. I have a copy here of the English from Wikipedia. It just says the oath that they take. I'm not going to read it out loud. I don't think it's nice to read it, but
in the Knesset, the oath of office or declaration of allegiance is as follows.
Anyway, just take a look at what it says.
Oldest members of Knesset are chairperson. I pledge myself to bear allegiance for the state of Israel.
I don't say it.
All right.
Because so you see, it says it twice, and they say that it's not an accident. It's supposed to say it twice. The guy says it twice, and then everyone else says, "I pledge myself."
Well, no, I don't think they make you say it. They make you just sign an agreement.
No. This is what happens. They make you actually say it.
Right, but in America, I'm just saying, you have to just sign a document that you're gonna Be responsible. Do this. Yeah.
So this is the law over there.
Over there. Yeah.
And then just to show that it's a serious thing, I brought two other articles here. One from 1984, where three religious members of Knesset added on the words "God willing," I guess in Yirtzeh Hashem afterwards, and they said, "No, not Yotzei Geven. You have to do it over. It's not good."
If you put God's name in it?
Yeah.
Well, it's much worse with God's name. That's first. Second, swearing Hashem's name is worse than just swearing as is. So you know. All right. So it's good then.
Well, and then it says here the meir kahana added on the words, "And I will safeguard your Torah." You added on some words, and they were angry at him. They let him buy that time, but
look, even
3 years later, let's just finish. 3 years later, 1987, they didn't even let him. They said, "That's it. You can't be in the Knesset if you're going to say that."
Look, even the most extreme Zionists.
So the oisa hashvua be'atma, just making this oath, is grua harba yoiser mimoida ba'avodah zarah. It's much worse than agreeing to avodah zarah.
Why would that be?
The moida ba'avodah zarah eino el dibura bi'alma. Agreeing to avodah zarah is just saying that you believe in avodah zarah. It's just a word, a couple of words out of your mouth. This is an oath. It's much more strong. Okay? I'm not even talking about the issue of swearing to uphold the laws. Which I don't know if the oath contains that text. I don't have the Hebrew text here, by the way. If we have the Hebrew text, we can know for sure what it contains.
Well, the American Pledge of Allegiance does have mentioned God, and they're probably banned in public schools.
So, Asherubam Kekulam, most of the laws is Yoister Mitishim Achuz, Heimach Minim Mekoifrim. Most of the people making the laws, he means, 90% of them are Minim Vekoifrim, Rapikoisim. Rahman al-Islanu Miskoinanim, Lakor, they prepare themselves and they do deliberately, Lakor Chas V'Shalom Kol HaTorah Kula. And just to take a look at the makeup of the Knesset at the time that he was writing this, 1950s. This is by page 4. I have the makeup of it with the percentages, and you see that the religious party, Yitzhak Meir 11, was 6 out of 120.
But the religious party is worse actually because they make it seem.
That's what we're talking about now. And then Moshe Shapiro, who was from the Mizrahi, was 11 seats.
And the very idea that if you let Hashem will forgive your sins.
So he says, someone who swears on their laws, that they enact with their majority, according to their laws, he's swearing to uphold kfira and uprooting the Torah. Rahman al-Islam. Because the shvua, this shvua that they say is not just on upholding the state; it's on upholding all the laws too. The laws, not only the makers of the laws, but the laws themselves are against the Torah. I'll speak about this later. We're not talking about now. Just the actual swearing to uphold the state is hu inyan chomer moed. It's a very serious avera. He's swearing to uphold something that's discussed Hashem Yisborach v'Torah and His Torah. And it's the opposite of the shvur that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made. HaKadosh Baruch Hu nishba ala galus ades kates. Hashem made the shvur that the galus would last until the kates, until Mashiach comes. And Gam Hishpia as Yisrael, he put an oath upon the Jewish people, Shalo Yitchaku as kates, that they shouldn't force the end, they shouldn't push for it too early. Gam anu mushbaim ve'oindin, and we are mushba from Har Sinai to keep the Torah. Mushbaim ve'oindin Har Sinai al kol ma sheyesh bo kfira b'Torah Kedosha v'darech Hashem Yisborach. So it's a general shvur for everything. For who nishba, but this guy who's going into the Knesset and taking a shvur, he's nishba behepech mikol elu hashvuos. To do the exact opposite of all these oaths, he should be in together and supporting those people who violate the shvuos. And now he's addressing why a person might want to make the shvur. He might say, okay, look, they're being matzliach now, so that shows that Hashem wants them to succeed. It shows that it's the right thing. So in that he says, no, it's not a raya. Hashem lets people succeed. Hashem there's such a thing as bechira, and bechira means that if someone succeeds, it doesn't prove anything.
Right. Well, if somebody's Michal Shabbos, owns a business, works on Shabbos, and he becomes wealthy, he doesn't just by being Michal Shabbos.
So
even in the time, in America, when there was, you had to work on Shabbos, there are Jews who say, look, I'm successful when I work on Shabbos. The same thing here.
So, he doesn't stop a person from being over on the Torah if he wants to be. The pasuk in Malachi says that they tested Hashem and they escaped. And
who is this?
It's talking about the Rishonim of his time. It says that Anachnu Ma'ashrim Zaydim, we're giving our agreement and our approval of Rishonim. They violate the Torah and they escape. They get away with it, and it looks like Hashem is not punishing them. But that's part of Bechira. Hashem does that so that the Bechira should work. There should be such a thing as Bechira. Hashem is testing you, and He's letting the Navi Sheker be Matzliach. So that's that's the reason for the Hatzlacha of the Tziyonim. So therefore, if someone mistakes that and thinks, okay, now they're being Matzliach, it must be the right thing, and he goes and swears to it, that he's swearing to something that's heresy. There's no doubt that just for that oath, even if you don't even join the Knesset, you have to give your life not to do it, not to let such an oath out of your mouth. The that even the Torah says, even to say that you're a guy, just to save your life. If you're coming through a checkpoint somewhere in Germany and they say, are you a yid or a guy, and you say you're a guy, it's Mesiras Nefesh. You have to be Yahar B'al Yavor. Why? Shehu akum mechuyev limsar nafshay ba'ariga b'shvil devama shehu oimer shehu akum. If someone says that he's a guy, moed l'dasam, it's like he's agreeing to their religion. V'koifer be'ikar, he's denying Hashem. Umikol sheken kishenishba l'derech haminis. So here it's all the more so. There you're just saying you're a guy, so it could be mashma that you're agreeing to their religion. Here you're saying beferish that you agree to it, and you're swearing to support it. He's actually agreeing to the minas. So that's just to swear. But if you're going to go and actually do something and join it, and you be a part of it, with everything that they do, they're over on Yahar B'al. Besides the fact that all their actions are like agreeing to the minas, like I said before in the first reason in this simon. And just to show the other side of the story, I brought here the bias as man from reuven grozovsky, where he talks about the Ister to be mishtatif or the het to be mishtatif.
Who was this?
He was Rosh Hashiva, the Talmud of Rabbi Ber, very important Rosh Hashiva. No. He was one of the in the Moetzes Gedolah Torah of the Aguda, and he was in America. He wasn't in Eretz Yisrael, so he's not one of the ones who gave the heter. But in a sense, he did give the heter because he wrote in his kuntris a long thing, 10-20 pages, all about why it's also to be mishtatif in the government of the state of Israel. And then afterwards, he says, but Hashem. You're going to see what he says and what he doesn't say. Because it's a difficult situation, and there's certain things sometimes you could do an aveir lishma, you can do an aveir for a good reason, so there's a makom to be matir. And look what he says. He says, after all these reasons that he said here, which I didn't copy here, but you can go and look it up. It's a 10-20 page sefer section about the reasons not to be mishtatif. He says, it's also to participate in the government. I can't paskin over here from America whether it's mutter or aser without knowing the situation clearly. That all this that I said that it's also to do it, that's talking when there's no hechrich and there's no oinus to do it. There's no forcing. Whatever you could save from the rishus that they're doing. It could be that if you're trying to save whatever could be saved, It could be that when you're joining it, it's not called that you're joining it, the haskama, not called that you're agreeing and approving of it. It looks like it's just an oinus. Shehu maisa b'yalma ukamaisa avosenu atzadikim m'mois olam. Sheshitfu pu'ula im lachim rishayim bein malchi Yisrael bein malchi umas olam. So basically, he's saying what the Rebbe addresses in Siman Pei Ches is what he's saying here. He's saying that it's type of an oinus. You're doing it totally by the force, and you don't mean to do it. Of course,
well, it's for sure true of soldiers who are in the Israeli government.
Because it's something that they don't really want to do. They're just doing it for a zaitik reason. Okay. And he brings the precedent that in previous generations, Jews joined the governments of Rishaim. Now, they did hishtadlus. They went to the kings and they spoke to them with respect, and they tried to get what they wanted.
Like the Beryl Lazar with Putin, he's a Russia, but Beryl comes to him, speaks to him, addresses this and that. But Putin was an ex-KGB.
Okay, v'chein Rishaim hedyoitis. And the same thing, they were mishtatif, they were machanef to Rishaim who were stam Rishaim, not kings. Machmas oinus, because sometimes they're forced to do it. V'gam sheyuchal liyos she'oinus hu begeder kazeh sheyesh boi mishum eis las l'Hashem heferis oesecha. Sometimes it's mutter to do an aveira to save the Torah. Uv'choyer serab b'miyutoi. Take the lesser of the evils. And then a little later, v'ein derech acheres la'atzal purta. There's no other way to save that little that you could save. El hisganev l'machne ho'ev, to sneak in and to smuggle yourself into the enemy camp. V'lishmor shelo yichabu es azik ho'achron, and stop them from extinguishing the last spark of Yiddishkeit. Ukechushai ho'arki b'machne Avshalom. The Chushai was on David's side, and he smuggled himself to Avshalom's camp, and he gave him a bad eitzah. Uke Ovadia shehech b'mea ish me'anavim. Ovadia was Achav's minister, but he was really a tzaddik, right? And he hid the Nevi'im. Okay, so this is his rationalization for participating. But of course, he's saying clearly that it has to be something that's done like a spy, like sneaking in, not like someone who approves of something.
Oh, it becomes good now.
Right.
Ovadia, their Achav is now good because this, And
nobody had a havamim that Ovadia thought that.
Right. Everyone knew that Ovadia was doing it just to keep Achav away from doing more evils. I guess if Ovadia wouldn't keep Achav distracted, then he would have found the Nevi'im was hiding.
So the point here is that really they're not arguing, because they're really saying the same thing. They're saying that you can't have any way that it should look as if you're being moida in the Medina. So time has told, this was written in 1951, I think, but time has told that the participation of From Knesset members has made it look like From people agreed to the Medina. They're just disagreeing on certain property.
This was a long
so
time
he's saying, he's writing in theory, right at the beginning, in 1951, he's writing, you want to go and participate, there's as far to say that you're honest and it doesn't look like you're agreeing to it. You're just like a spy sneaking in. And just to make it even stronger, I copied another page here, page 7. He says, "V'oid tonight tzarich b'zeh." Reuven still writes here. He says that there's a tanai, there's a condition when you participate. Is kikivan she'ein hoiras heter hishtatfus b'mishal el ke'ein aver lishma. Since the whole thing is just a sin done for a good purpose, lahatzalas Yisrael. So tzarich hadavar le'yasis mitoich oinis gamer. You have to show that you're being forced to do it.
So that's what people believe that when they read it.
You have to show, in other words, if you're going to be one of these people that's matir, you have to show that you're doing it mamish b'oinis. You don't really want to do it, and you don't really hold of it.
Which most parties aren't doing nowadays.
Uki'ilu kafai shade. You have to show that it's like a demon is forcing you. The shaloi
which they're not doing anyhow nowadays.
Me'avera ki Yael ve'Esther. Like Yael and Esther, they did an avera lishma, but they didn't have hana from
Yael?
Yael was Sisra.
But what Avera? He just came and said, I need a place to sleep. What Avera?
The Chazal say more about it, but Ayin Sham.
Right.
And the Esther, she married
Achashverosh. That we all know. That's not a question.
The Toivasin shel Rishaim Ra Hi Eitzel Tzadikim. That all the good that Rishaim do, Tzadikim don't have any hana. The Shaloi L'Chabdom Yoiser Me'amakam Amuchrach. That this cover that you give has to be only exactly as much you have to, not more. Okay, and then he says a little later that the newspaper of the Aguda has to Shetzarech with Galos Pnei Haloit. They have to come out clearly and be megala all the bad things. Not to cover up anything. Not to say anything that could be understood two ways. You look in the newspapers today, you'll see Yated Hamodia, you'll see that it's not like that.
The ways that happens at the Meir's own religious party.
The ways that they talk, it's not just Mishtama L'Trei Anpin, it's Mishtama the opposite way.
The Arab parties are like
they
this.
agree to it.
Like the Arab party, like you own some, they agree that the Arab parties I think are like this.
Right, they'll sit down when Hatikva is sung in the Knesset.
Who?
The Arab parties.
Right.
They won't stand up.
Because the Arab parties, are like on that they had to go into this.
The Kol Shekain Kishemedabrim B'Asifas, and Reuven goes on. He says, Kol Shekain, that when we speak at our own asifas, when from Jews go by themselves, when they're not in the Knesset, they're speaking among themselves, then you can't say anything good about them. You can't show yourself as if you're a partner with them. Okay? It's clear that you do it in a way that makes it very, very clear to everybody that you're against it. And that's not what they do.
Of course.
That's my point.
Especially Avad Yosef, who has his own hardcore Zionist party.
And then one or two more quotes from Reuven. A few pages later in the Sefer, it's page 8 here. He's talking about that we shouldn't disagree, we shouldn't have arguments within the Turei Karta. In his time, those were the people that represented the Shita of not participating. So this is 1950s. And he says, one of the reasons not to argue with them is ki b'masha soivrim the Turei Karta. That Reuven says this is the Turei Karta holds she'ein hi shamal roiv, that we don't listen to a roiv, even though they're the minority. They don't change their opinion, right? So he says datenu kedatam. We agree to that principle that we don't listen to a majority. Why? Ki kol ha'ma'aminim oimrim. All from Jews, all believing Jews say she'aminim v'arashayim afilu kishehem haroiv, that we don't count majorities when it comes to Emunah. You have Rishayim, and they're the Reuven of the world. They're the Reuven of Klal Yisrael, unfortunately. So we say Kesher Rishayim Einam Min Minyan, that we don't count them as a Reuven. Kedisa B'Sanhedrin Chavav Einam B'Klal Yisrael. They're not included when you count the Jewish people. Ve'aminim Oimrim, but they say no. Sha'Torah ve'Amunah Hei Minyan Prati, that Torah is your own private point of view. V'Chol HaMakir Atzmoi LeYehudi Hu Yehudi. Any Jew who says I'm a Jew is a Jew. It doesn't make a difference what he believes. That's why they say we have to listen to them. But we say no, they don't count. So then, if we're going to go and say to the Turei Karta, you submit to us and agree to the majority, then it's going to sound like we adopted their point of view, that majority rules in Yonim of Emunah. He says,
Wow.
Okay. Then he goes on and he says, "Ve'emes harei eina machloekes." That this disagreement between us and the people who don't participate, this is only a machloekes el b'tachsisei hamilchama. It's a machloekes in the type of battle you have to fight, the way to fight the battle, v'havanas hamatzav, and how to understand the situation. Like we said, that the Satmar Rebbe saw further down into the future, that people are going to realize, people are going to think, if they're participating, they're going to see that they're going to look at it as being haskama to them, approval of them. That's how he saw it, and it turned out he was right. So it's a machlokes in havanas hamatzav. It's not a machlokes in halacha. Shehem soivrim she'ein poi makom l'dorain. They hold that you can't participate. This is not a place to go and be machanef to Rishayim. El milchama gluya im kol noirasela, to go out in all out war. V'yesh shesoivrim l'dorain adif. But there are others that hold that no, it's better to be machanef. V'chol shekein b'shasha machnifim l'Rishayim. Okay, and then he says, Hashlishis, the third reason not to argue with them is Kivan shebeikra davar tzadku el Turei Karta, since they're be'etzem right in the etzem idea that you're not supposed to be mishtatif for the Rishayim, and just the Aguda had a heter of Eis La'asos L'Shem, so shetzarech lotzes milchama gluya b'dvarim sheim mishum yihag v'al yavor v'yaf bezin hasoiver shelafia matzav deo idna. Even the Aguda that holds that right now haderech shaladorin toiva yois of the tachlis, that you'll achieve the goal better by participating. But haloi mevin kol echad shamatzav yuchal ishtanis l'roach halila, that everyone knows that things could change. So right now, Fine, 1951, I'm giving a heter. But who says that's going to be the matzah forever? Maybe things are going to change. Things could change, and it will come out that participating is viewed as a approval. So then then we'll have to all be like Neturei Karta. We'll have to be even more kanayistic than them. So how can we argue with them now? He says, how can we throw a stone into the well that we're going to eventually have to drink from? That's how Reuven saw things. All right.